it's not just on the K.O.E Nation either. It's like when I show up Castle K.O.E for like a live dog and chicken, Phil's just like, yeah, why don't you just carve yourself out a little plot of land there on the hard right there, Tony G. I'll just be over here.
Like, this is really what you're here to see, everybody. Like,
hey Tony, what do you think of that? I think.
There we go, folks.
But I was gonna say,
get the fuck out of here! Look at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't fucking touch it.
You do a handling finger poke.
You have arrived at the K.O.E Nation.
Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E Nation for a very long time coming. 101 Spirits matchup, folks. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E, the man of the hour, the man with the power of the band that makes you the podcast cower. You can, of course, find me at K.O.E Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, and also Twitter now, too. And I am joined this evening by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
the 15-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, non-chill filtered, quadruple distilled Tony fucking G. Find me on TikTok at Tony the Rod, and of course, all of the shows: Hazard Analysis, Dog and Chicken Show, K.O.E Nation, and the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast at Linktree/Big Bucket. And you are back here.
Our kingdom expands, folks.
At the K.O.E Nation for another versus matchup, but this time it's all binary, folks. Yes, zeros and ones, ones and zeros.
1 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 0 1. So
really,
folks,
too bad we can't put that in the background of this video because it's a matchup of 101 proof bourbons. And yes, I wish this were a triple threat, but the victor of this will one day go on to face the unattainable travel exclusive Evan Williams 12-year 101 proof.
but you know what, Tony?
But the stateside availability, the favorites.
David didn't bother to show up tonight, so we've got the real challengers
That is
here.
correct.
And let's be frank, this is a matchup that more than a few people are I'm curious about, because let's be frank, Tony, you're a bit of a partisan for Turkey. In fact, this needs to be
Yeah, actually, that's
flipped,
fair.
because I am a big partisan for Makers 101.
I'm a big fan myself.
And I have never had a bad dram of Turkey 101, but I think it's time to decide. Maker's Mark 101, Wild Turkey 101, what will go down as the 101 proof whiskey of extreme?
Extremely full.
Well, then you know you can get
It's
some blend
just
in.
a mini.
Well, that way, if the blend master feels need.
Is there a reason I can't walk after most of these reviews? Yeah, it's
This coinky dink.
I like the hardcore fans of the K.O.E Nation that like take the time to go back and look at videos and go, okay, he's wearing the same shirt in this video, this. Holy shit, they did 9 reviews that night. No wonder Tony G couldn't fucking talk by the end of the Scotch versus Irish matchup.
Ooh, that's a good tournament. But would be amazing. Scotch versus Irish.
We'll talk later.
So
we've got Makers on the
Makers on the left,
Turkey on the right.
Turkey on the
101 proof. Now, let's get into the details, folks. Maker's Mark 101. Whiskey without the E. The E stands for Excelsior. I don't know if you know this, Bill. Can you guess the ABV?
alcohol by volume.
Can you guess it?
Is it like 50.5?
By golly, you're right. 101 proof.
My brain was doing that. Like, yep, it was doing that. Oh,
Well, not everyone can
It's
visit
about the
our
same.
little distillery in
Tony.
Loretto, Kentucky. We've bottled this
nobody has
101
to
proof.
retain mathematical information anymore because of this.
We've bottled this 101 proof limited release, so you too can experience the bolder side of our refined wheated bourbon as we have shared it with our special guests at our distillery for generations. Yes, Maker's Mark 101 at one time was only a distillery exclusive that you could only obtain by going to The Sanctimonium. Your sanctuary. Not
Yes,
the
the makers one. And
yes. And now available to the public for what? About $35 a bottle?
when this first came out, this was my Christmas present to a lot of people because it was new and I knew they hadn't had it.
Yeah.
So
whereas this bad boy, this is
we
that
all know, love, and hate it.
This is that skeleton in your closet. You had a bad time with it in college, probably.
This is the reason for a lot of your bad decisions.
Yeah, this is
for a few of you, this is the reason for your child support payments.
For more than 60 years, legendary master distiller Jimmy Russell has been crafting Wild Turkey 101 one way, the right way, with a high rye content. This iconic bourbon is perfectly aged for up to 6 to 8 years in American oak barrels with the deepest char for more character. We bottle it 101 proof, and only once it reaches its full complex flavor of caramel, vanilla, toffee, and spice. As Jimmy says, like the Kentucky River, Wild Turkey 101 is mighty, bold, and it takes our own sweet time. I get it. I get it. For those of you just cruising by the K.O.E. Nation, happening to see the Wild Turkey, laughing, scoffing at this $25 bottle of bourbon, this hits so much higher above its weight class than people ever want to give it credit for. Because even my dad has a bad Wild Turkey story. Because
we all have a bad Wild Turkey story.
Most people do. But here's the reason. Do you know why you have a bad Wild Turkey story?
It's available.
It's available, but it's also fucking delicious. That's the thing, folks. It's so good, you're going to drink too much of it, and I have done just that so many a time.
Too much of a good thing.
I would probably have a similar story with this had it not just become readily available to the public. What, maybe 3 years ago? Maybe?
I was about to say, I recall it
before COVID?
Like, yeah, it was like right before
2019,
COVID.
probably.
Or maybe it was right during, I forget. But yeah, this has been available for so many more years. It's delicious. It goes down easy. Again, like, the reason why so many people have a bad Wild Turkey story is because we all know in this life there is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Indeed.
And we've all had a few decades now to have too much of a good thing in Wild Turkey 101. Well, this is the new kid on the block. Okay?
Now, we know people who don't like wheated bourbon, so this might not be their cup of tea.
This is high rye.
This is high rye. So
that's the big defining difference.
This is a true versus matchup.
It's the same proof, very wildly different mash bills.
Yeah.
Now, I remember one time, I think it's Jimmy Russell is the dad.
Yeah.
I was watching an interview with him, and they were asking him for his exact mash bill. They're like, so how much corn do you put in? What? How much corn do you put in? What's that? Like, he would just act like he couldn't hear you because I ain't telling you my mash bill. Like,
doesn't need to.
Now, some companies are pretty upfront and forward with it. Like Maker's Mark, I think most of it.
Maker's Mark is almost offensively upfront about what it is that you're getting with the barrels, the blending of the aging and the barrels. Like, they put it on the front of the bottle.
It'll tell you what staves if you get a private select.
Exactly.
Like I wouldn't say offensive, but like they are very, out front with
For
it.
a blend master of ceremony such as myself, it tickles my fancy quite indubitably.
Now, speaking of tickling fancy here, T.
Are we starting with the makers?
You're starting with the makers.
All right. Wheated Bourbon 101. Sounds like a college course.
Copper.
Yeah, and I think that's probably my most intrusive
That's just when you
thought.
know you're drinking Makers.
It is, and that's the most intrusive thing because Makers, we went from drinking Weller's earlier, which is also a wheated bourbon, which is so succulent and sweet and just, it's
delightful.
It's not intrusive at all on the palate. Makers has that copper note on the nose, on the palate.
It's part of the house style at this point.
And I'm not arguing with it. I enjoy it.
Now let's take up to the nose 101. Turkey 101.
More muted, but sweeter.
Yeah, I was just going to say like a slight caramelly, like with a bit of vanilla note.
Yeah.
But it's muted.
Yeah.
And so, yes, everything, like,
that's what I've always thought about this, is this drinks slower. Now, if you get the standard Wild Turkey 86 proof, which is far below even a standard 90 proof Buffalo Trace, you don't have as much going on. There's not as much bite, but this does not drink like 100.
Now, on the nose, it's strange because this is wheated, that's high rye, and that smells sweeter.
Yeah.
Now, that you
usually...
Yeah, exactly. That you have to entirely credit to the Russell family, because if you can figure out a way to get a sweet product with rye, you can make a much more inexpensive...
now go back.
Your inputs are so much lower versus using wheat.
Now flip-flop and smell backwards. And it changes. Get deep, though.
Yeah, this one, the red fruits are coming out. This one,
I'm getting a lot more
bitter
caramel here. Caramel silky smooth.
Well, Tony.
But this, I get a lot more sharp vanilla.
Yeah. Well, Tony, let's try on the palate. Let's try with good old Makers. Let's be frank, I'm a partisan for Maker's Mark. I just love their process. I love everything about them. You're a bit more of a partisan for turkey, though.
The Russell's family's never done me wrong.
In my college days, it led to 1 or 2 bad decisions I might have made.
I didn't need help to do that.
Fair enough.
Cheers.
Sanjiva. That copper comes through on the palate, but sweet.
There's a flash of greatness there. I had a second. It was gonna be the perfect comparison. I lost it. Damn it. There is a nut, copper. My brilliant thought's gone. It was there for a fleeting second. Damn it. But that's beautiful. It's just so proof-a-type. Those of you who enjoy just standard white / faded yellow standard Maker's Mark, copper penny, vanilla, just...
But turned up.
Yeah, it's just...
Because I don't like...
There's so much more here.
It's fascinating because I'm not a big fan of Maker's Mark standard. Okay, like I'll drink it if that's all that's there, and I'm at like some social occasion. But anything above their standard, amazing. But now, Tony, we now get to the venerated, underappreciated, underrated.
Let's be frank. This is the scapegoat of bourbon. All right, it just is.
True. It's gone. Goodbye. Oily.
It is much more oily, isn't it?
Brown, sugary.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. Like you can almost feel somebody... It's like the meme of the guy doing the sprinkles. It's like he's just sprinkling brown sugar all over your tongue as it cascades.
Salt Bay or something.
Yeah, just
like that.
cascades down your throat. Oh, God, they're both so fucking delightful.
Yeah, this is going to be tough.
Oh, it's going to be terrible.
We're going to go back to Turkey 101.
See, this is why I've made so many bad nights happen.
You thought you could catch the wild turkey. Yeah.
Bad girl.
And now,
bad girl.
Makers 101.
It's got such a specific flavor tone.
And it's more intense in its flavor. Like,
I don't know.
Whether you enjoy them or not.
The vanilla is heavier.
Whether you enjoy them or not, it's just a more overwhelming sensation in your mouth.
When you go from the Turkey 101 to the Makers 101, the vanilla extract really comes through here. Really, really does. But before that, with the turkey, I get so much more sharp caramel and vanilla. But then, how do you pick Oh, this is torture. We're talking about less than $40 bottles here, and this is absolute torture to have to pick a victor between these two.
I have already made my pick, Tony. So
I knew what your pick was before we even started the video, Phil.
By the hair of its chinny chin chin, I gotta give it to Makers. But I don't know. Let me go back.
I'm torn. I really am. Like, honestly, I am. Peanut, vanilla, copper. Vanilla, sweet.
God, I don't know.
Oh man, that's.
Which way are you going, T?
That's beautiful part. Like, these are cheap ass bourbons, and they both change immensely each time. I go back and forth. All right. I got it. I've made my decision. Photo finish. Makers.
Oh, Makers by a hair, because I almost changed my vote back to Turkey.
I could go out right. We could do this. We could do this matchup 100 times, and I, honest to God, believe it would be a 50-50 split. I really, really do believe that.
I think it'd be like a 52-48 split. Like, that's the only reason that we both gave it a Makers edge is because maybe a few more times statistically. But, like, I feel like this would be a good one if we could get a couple of 101 proofs in a blind.
This is one where I want to take, like, 3-4 guys, put them behind the bar, or 2 drams for each of them, and I don't even want to tell them what they're drinking, and just see what happens.
But folks,
because these are both, honest to God, just so good.
It's a little foreshadowing. There's more 101 in the future, folks. You will see.
There is.
So, folks, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But, folks, as I've been known to say around here,
we're not
all that being
Oh, you fooled me. Fooled me. I was gonna say I poured this together for no reason.
No, we've got
We've got the weeded 101 and the high rye 101, and these two. This is like the Rock and Stone Cold.
Like a green apple.
It's like Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. Like, it's like Jenna Jameson and Brianna Banks.
That was a specific 90s reference. But folks,
so blend.
Yeah, blend.
Yeah.
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 It's green apple on the nose.
Hell yeah, it is. Caramel. Granny Smith apple. Fuck yeah.
Oh, that's delightful.
Holy God.
Everything you just said came through on the palate.
Oh, shit.
Here's the problem, Tony. What proof is it?
God damn it.
I don't math.
That may be the best blend I've had tonight.
That might be the best blend we've done in months.
That's just stupid.
That's an A+ blend.
That is an A+ blend. Oh my God, it's so good. Now, granted, we could have started the night drinking cheap bourbon.
No.
But holy shit, folks, when bottles like these are available,
blend is comparable to a lot of allocateds we've had.
You could go out tomorrow and go and buy a bottle of $36 Makers 101 and a bottle of $27 Turkey 101, and you could dump them both in a bigger bottle. Put it on your shelf. Let it sit for a week. Come back. Pour yourself a dram. And it's going to drink like a bottle of Pappy Tenure, but better. And you know what? You're going to spend less than $100 doing it. That is amazing.
If you get the right sale, you can get it for $3 $20 bills. If you get it on the right sale. Yeah, that's an A+ blend. Better than any blend we've had tonight. Well, okay, the 107 blend was good.
Stop sleeping on this. Get over your past.
Start sleeping with it.
Forget the time you passed out in the bathtub and puked all over yourself. This is not your enemy. You both said some things. You both regret it. It's time to make up. You're maybe not as familiar here, but get acquainted. And then, you know, the three of you go out, you have some drinks, you do a little dancing, the club lights come down.
A little one-on-one menage.
And what happens in the bathroom off the back of the toilet seat, the bumps that you're taking, you know, the things that go inside the other things, and the menage a trois happens. And it's beautiful.
And what happens with the, you know, yeah.
Let's not dispute love, okay? Even if it's a fleeting moment. Don't dispute it.
A turkey and a mark can find true love, folks. And we found it here at the K.O.E. Nation. So, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us for this very special versus matchup of Maker's Mark 101 versus Wild Turkey 101. Now, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Don't sleep on either of these products because the blend, the product is actually better than the sum of its parts, okay? Like, I don't know how to put it other than that. Like, it's amazing. I'm going to keep a bottle of both of these on hand from now on, so if I'm hosting a party, I'm just going to do a blend of this, and everyone's going to be like, wow, what's this incredibly expensive whiskey? Like, pour that into your old Van Winkle 10-year bottle, and everyone will be like, this is the greatest whiskey I've ever had. Yeah, that Van Winkle, let me tell you, it's amazing stuff.
Cost me $60.
Yep. So, folks, God bless every last one of you. I hope all of you make it back here to the K.O.E. Nation. Happy, healthy, much the wiser. God bless. Tony, take it away.
The Blend Master of Ceremonies. My nipples couldn't be harder. This was fantastic. What a wonderful pairing. What a wonderful verses. What a just a studious duel, if you will. I'm so happy. I loved everything about this. Everything was fantastic. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time for the next versus matchup spirit review at the K.O.E. Nation. And I am so damn thirsty. I might just have to have some more.